All right, welcome back to the channel. We just got some patch notes coming up for the patch v0.4 patch. We're going to dive into this. We just got the tweet, but we also have a video. So let's take a look at it. It says Predecessor patch v0.4, new hero Shinbi, primal Fangtooth, and more. Let's take a look at this.
Hold tight, Predecessor community. Nobori here with the latest and greatest in patch 0.4. Get ready to rock the battlefield with the electrifying Shinbi. This dazzling pop star is a force to be reckoned with, slicing through enemies with her wolves right by her side.
She looks crazy, man. She looks absolutely nuts.
Shinbi fearlessly dives into the thick of team fights, hunting down high-value targets with ease. Be cautious. While her agility makes her a powerful assassin, she's vulnerable to crowd control. So wait for the perfect moment to strike and take down your enemies in style. Stay alert and always know your limits as you become the ultimate Wolfpack leader with Shinbi.
All right, she looks so sick, man.
Just got even
look at this Fangtooth.
Introduction of Primal Fangtooth. Primal Fangtooth spawns once the third Fangtooth has been killed. This upgraded version delivers a temporary buff called Primordial Blaze, dealing damage over time to minions, monsters, structures, and heroes.
Very
Get ready to battle with the best, as patch 0.4 introduces AI mode. Join forces.
That's awesome.
Or go solo against Omida's
for people wanting to learn the game.
While the AI mode is still in early stages, it's the perfect battleground for players looking to learn the game or test new heroes and strategies.
Oh, let's go!
The store is finally here.
Let's go! That Gideon skin
on the battlefield. Keep in mind, the store is just the beginning.
Nice, dude.
UI overhaul is coming later this year.
Complete UI overhaul coming.
Epic gaming experience with patch 0.4.
Let's go, dude. Okay, dude. Primal Fangtooth. So Fangtooth 3, it's after the third Fangtooth is taken. I wonder what that means for the other Fangtooth buffs, but I'm sure I'm going to get that in the patch notes. Let's not speculate too much. Let's dive right into it. Are you ready to make some noise? It's time to talk about patch v0.4 dropping this Tuesday, February 21st. With it, of course, comes our headline act and the next hero to join our roster, Shinbi. That's not all, however. This patch introduces major changes to Fangtooth and introduces Primal Fangtooth, a dangerous new version of everyone's favorite deadly dino. The Big Brute provides a temporary buff that makes the games more dynamic while also providing teams with more counterplay against early Fangtooth leads. We're also ready to open the doors to the new in-game shop, your one-stop shop for browsing awesome skins that you can spend your platinum on. The first version of our player versus AI mode, okay, cool, I'm not going to read more on that. On top of all this, we're also making some slight balance changes to address some outliers, adjusting Omnivamp items and providing some support to Muriel. Great. Between the deadly roars of Fangtooth, Fangles, and Shinbi's dazzling performances, the battlefield's about to sound very different. Grab your tickets and let's go. Awesome, Alex. All right, so this is the video. All right, ooh, look at her, dude. Awesome. Shinbi sellout tour Predecessor begins shortly. We know she's on her way, and I've actually already covered the kit, so I could dive into the specifics here, but I do think I'm going to go ahead and bypass that. I didn't see all the exact scalings and things of it, but I'm going to take a pass on this one because this is probably going to be a long video going over everything. So do check the link in the description if you want to dive into her kit. I may look at this a little bit later, but I'm going to skip that for now. So the store, I love this. I love that the stuff's coming out, man. It looks pretty cool. I'm actually not super jazzed about all these skins, if I'm being completely honest, but they're cool, and it's the first step in the first iterations of some of the things that are coming. So here you can spend platinum you earned. Okay, so whenever we do earn our platinum from like the end of the season, or purchased on skins, or top up your platinum balance by purchasing more. So it's time that they're opening the store finally. Very cool. At the time of launch, the store will have 12 skins that can be purchased, but more will be added in future patches, of course. Many features we're adding during early access. This is only the beginning of the store. We'll continue to expand and improve as time goes on, and also benefit from the UI rework that's going on behind the scenes. Awesome. Very excited about UI changes and work going on there. Fangtooth update. So Fangtooth has a massive overhaul, bringing new layers of depth to spice up the late game of Predecessor. The passive buff remain mostly the same, but now cap out at 3. So okay, so Fangtooth still grants the following 3 passive buffs: jungle buff duration 50%, out of combat move speed 8%, increased physical power, magic power, physical armor, magic armor 8%. After this, no more passive buffs can be obtained. Once 3 total Fangtooths have been killed in a single game, however, the new Primal Fangtooth will begin to spawn. So my question on this is like, does it mean that like one team could say get the first one and then the next team gets the second one, but it's still the first buff, and then because of that neither team reaches this buff? So I'm a little confused about that exactly, because it says after the third total, like once 3 total Fangtooths have been killed. So if you're a team that gets all 3 Fangtooths, that's huge, because you're getting that 8% forever, and they're never getting it. So this is a little interesting to me. I don't exactly know how I feel about it, and I'm not exactly sure I'm 100% right on that, but like you might have like you may just never have people reaching this, right? Like it just may not happen. If one team doesn't get all three, then they may not get it, which is interesting. So yeah, Primal Fangtooth, the new variant of Fangtooth spawns after 3 Fangtooth have been defeated in total by both teams. It will continue to grant passive buffs on every okay, so even if you they answered my question, even if you get the Primal Fangtooth, if you were on Fang 2, it's going to bump you. So you can, this is the top out buffs no matter what Fangtooth it is, if it's primal, if it's not primal, this is what you can top out at. Very, very cool. This is a way to pull the snowballing out from like this, where it's like it can get really, really crazy, and tighten it in. This is awesome. This is really, really good Fangtooth changes. Damaging enemy targets, because let's talk about what it does. This should help shift the strength of Fangtooth from constant permanent advantages to something a team needs to use at a set window. This is exactly what I was talking about. It also helps create stronger chances for a comeback. The team that's behind can still access this powerful buff rather than being forced to crawl up back up the permanent buff chain. Yeah, exactly. It was too snowball. It was way too strong. Primordial Blaze, the buff that it's going to give, deals or damage dealt to enemy targets will be set aflame, dealing +2 per minute of game time, true damage per second over 4 seconds. This damage is increased by 50% against enemy heroes below 25% maximum health. This damage is capped at 80 true damage per second, 120 against targets below 25% maximum health. Buff duration is 2 minutes. Ooh, that's a pretty tight window. 120 seconds, which always leads to 2.5 minutes. 150 seconds due to the first Fangtooth buff, granting +30%. Okay, so 150 second buff, 2.5 minutes. You got to make it count. Player versus AI beta, cool. Not going to read much on that. Gadget based skin change. Oh, we've made the decision to change gadget based skin to her shell shock skin. We feel that provides the hero with more character and more battle ready aesthetic. Her original base skin may return in the future patch as a skin. I wish they would show what the shell shock skin is, because I don't actually know what that is. Is there a way to see that? Oh, very cool. I mean, if this is what she's going to look like, that's dope. So I'm excited about that, because I genuinely think that this is like more cool. So I wish they would have shown this though, because like I don't know what that means. So food for thought. Other improvements: total damage to heroes has now been displayed at the top of the other damage and hero stats. Heroes can now be rotated in the hero screen and post-match screen. Update gadgets, recommended items. Visual effects for Sentry have been updated. Visual effects for heroes dying have been updated. Client server delay on range basic attacks have been reduced by 50%. Very cool. Impact decals have been updated for most abilities. Gideon's sound effects have been updated. Visual effects for lane guidance indicators have been updated. Multiple map improvements to help increase performance. Phase jumping and landing sound have been improved. Okay, Crunch. Crunch is finding himself in a decent spot following his previous nerfs. However, his level 6 spike is still a bit too defining relative to his early and late game. With that in mind, I'm moving the strength from his mid game to these areas to some damage number shifts. What? Okay. So Crunch, left Crunch damage from 30, 60, 90, 120, 150 to 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. Total physical scaling increased. Okay, so they're pulling some flat and going more scaling. Right Crunch E damage from 70 up to 210 to 75 up to 215. So they're just buffing his E damage a little bit. Interesting. I don't think this is going to change much for Crunch. I think he'll probably feel exactly the same. But I mean, it's a 20% scaling on his Q, so who knows? It's a buff. It's a buff. We'll see how that feels. As he carries that into the game. With True Silver being picked up on Gideon up early, Gideon is able to safely engage with his ultimate. Has felt a bit too safe during durable doing so. We're bumping down his health a little bit to make the play pattern a little bit more high risk. Okay, so he's just a little bit less healthy. Muriel has felt a little unloved recently, so we're granting her some larger buffs and power shift to help player access her more exciting moments. We're increasing the overall values of her shield at the cost of a little cooldown so that she can prevent higher levels of burst from taking down her teammates. We're also allowing a burst from taking down her teammates. We're also allowing her to access her ultimate a bit more often to make it easier to use quick reaction. Those buffs alongside the Wellspring bug fixes should help Muriel flourish a bit more in the duo lane. So Serenity, her Q, slow is being buffed by 10%. Slow duration is buffed by 0.5 seconds. That's pretty huge. Alacrity, right mouse button, shielding effect is now a 20% magical power scaling. Cool. Bug fix now correctly scales with health, heal, and shield power. Very cool. Consecrated ground, base shield increased from 100 up to 300 to 110 up to 350. So bigger shield. Cooldown increased from 16 up to 18, or up down to 8 to 18 down to 10. So that's the kind of like the balance factor, right? Like we're gonna buff the shit out of the shield, but we need to nerf the cooldown a little bit. Reversal of Fortune, our stun duration increased from 1 second, or decreased from 1 second to 0.5 seconds. Okay, cool. So she's not going to be ridiculously strong and stunning the shit out of people. Charge up time decreased from 1.05 seconds to 0.6 seconds. So she's going to get that cast up like much faster, and cooldown decreased from 180, 150, 120 to 160, 130, 100. So pretty nice buff. These actually sound like they're going to bring her in line with other supports pretty well. Narbash, hopefully getting nerfed. Yeah, since his recent buff, the Orc has been seeing far too much success in his early game with the beat drop hits. We're looking to decrease the power of his early sustain to prevent non-interactive trades and create larger windows to punish his aggression. General base mana decreased from 480 to 420. Cool. Passive nearby ally mana regen decreased from 4 to 3. Cool. Song My People E. Health regeneration decreased from 9, 13, 70, 17, 21, 25 to 7, 10, 13, 16, 19. So they're bringing his healing down a little bit. Song My People scaling decreased from 10% to 8%. Yeah, he got a little wacky there for a bit, so hopefully this doesn't hurt him too hard. I think he's going to be good. It seems like these are some relatively nice changes. It's hard. I don't really know much about Narbash, so I think these changes feel like they're not going to crush him too much. We'll see. Ooh, Rampage has become an oppressive mid-game force due to his innate ability or durability and high damage output. We're looking to make his mid to late game damage down, particularly with Rumble to decrease his DPS and allow other heroes to a chance to fight back before he pummels into the dirt. Physical power growth decreased from 3 to 2.5. Right mouse button bonus health scaling decreased from 10% to 8%. And Rumble E base damage changed from 100, 140, 80, 220, 260 to 110, 140, 170, 200, 230. So some slight nerfs here with like an early game buff to the E, and then the bonus physical power scaling decrease. Okay, so he's just getting damage nerfs, which I don't think will hit Rampage too hard. But will maybe not make him stand out as the absolute best jungler, but we'll see. Irvin has started to trade out his cowboy hat for a wizard hat, creating a playstyle with little counterplay due to his powerful lock-on burst. We're going to shift a bit of power away from here to prevent the full magic power builds from snowballing too hard. We're also buffing his late game physical damage builds a bit so he can isn't outclassed with other carries catch up. I don't think his magic build was like too crazy. I don't think it's like super meta or anything, but I get the point. Bonus physical power scaling increased from 1% per 10% critical strike chance to 1.5% per 10% critical strike chance. Obliterate Q, magic scaling decreased. Okay, so less Mage Revenant, more Carry Revenant. Richter remains at the top of the support food chain alongside Narbash. We're going to punish those missed hooks a little more, that he doesn't feel like he can fish as easily without punishment. So base mana regeneration decreased a bit from 2.3 to 2. Riplash right mouse button mana cost increased from 100 to 120. Okay, so just a little bit more consequential to throw the hook. Severog, with Siphon's base damage increase, we can nudge the physical power scaling down as it will still continue to outpace his basic attacks. We're also looking to tackle this Reaper's early game sustain, as the S factor changes solidified his early game and made him a bit too safe while he claims the souls of your minions. Yeah, he's super strong. So health regeneration down from 1.5 to 1. Siphon physical power scaling decreased from 80% to 70%. It's fine. Minion health decreased from 15%. Minion healing decreased from 15% to 10%. So they're just pulling him down a little bit. I think this is going to feel fine. So, okay, interesting. Divine Wreath. Now you can stack wreaths to your heart's content. Okay, cool. I didn't know that you couldn't do that, but cool. This patch we're taking a look at Omnivamp. Nightfall. For Nightfall, we're moving its power into its consistent damage and putting the sustain into its passive. This will prevent players picking it up for easy additional Omnivamp rather than playing for its isolation condition. Omnivamp removed. Physical penetration increased from 8 to 12. That's nice. Isolation range decreased from 600 to 500. Build path changed from Hone Chris Bloodletter to Hone Chris plus Hone Chris. And then the passive, it has the Omnivamp increased. So, okay, so less of an Omnivamp item and more of an Omnivamp passive isolation item, which I think was probably going to hurt this item a decent amount, but it's not super meta anyway, so it's whatever. Mutilator continues to mutilate. We're continuing to decrease Omnivamp here and put the power into its haste instead. I mean, listen, if they make this change and they don't touch Sky Splitter, I'm gonna bitch. I'm gonna bitch about it, but we'll see. Omnivamp decreased from 8% to 5%. Ability haste from 20 to 25. I mean, it's a lateral change. The item is still gonna be good. It's just whether or not it's good enough compared to Sky Splitter. So Tectonic Mallet, likewise, Tectonic Mallet is a little bit out of place with the Omnivamp, so we're shifting it away and specializing it more into that Bruiser magical armor option it was designed to be. Cool, because that might make it useful. So Omnivamp removed from this item, don't care. Added 10 ability haste, cool. Magic armor increased from 30 to 40, very cool. Build path changed. Previously nullifying mask. Okay, so cool. This can actually be used as like a bruiser and a bruiser anti magic item. So if I don't feel like being a bruiser that just is forced to build like Unbroken Will, then I could build this if I want to keep my damage scaling a little bit more. Wellspring has not been working as intended. With these fixes, the items should feel far more impactful and help support players keep their teammates alive, even if they do not have access to heals or shields. So bug fix, Wellspring has no longer ceased to work when it comes off cooldown whilst the player is dead. Quality of life now checks if there is a target ally nearby and if they're damaged before committing the cooldown of Soothing Water. So okay, yeah, that's huge. Basically, the item just like wasn't working. Bug fixes, let's go ahead and read through some of these because these are actually a pretty big list. Fix a bug where the UI showed a pending friend request even after it had been accepted. Fix an issue where Prophecy's on-hit damage was triggering Wraith Leggings movement speed. Interesting. Fix a bug where Kalari's death mark would still play the pop sound even if it was cleansed. Fix a bug where abilities like Revenant's Q, Howitzer's ultimate, and Gideon's ultimate were not pulling tower aggro. Ooh. Fixed a bug where entering stealth during Revenant's ultimate would still apply the wrong material for the other players. Free look camera has been removed from the controller for the time being as it was interfering with the hero level up screen. Okay. Fixed a bug where Murdoch's stim pack would fully remove Gideon's passive instead of just the slow. Fixed an issue where sometimes the lock-in button was not able to be pressed in draft. Fixed a bug where heroes were not playing their death animation. Fixed a bug where minions on the main screen would be invisible when they spawn on ultra-wide monitors. Fixed a bug where Gadget's sticky mine would pass through Decker's cage. Fixed a bug where Crunch's right mouse button and Grex's E were affecting targets inside Revenant's ultimate. Fixed a bug where heroes reviving from using Phoenix were not getting CC'd by abilities on top of their respawn location. Fixed a bug where Gideon could not basic attack during when damaging enemy heroes with multiple abilities. Revenant would gain gold when the enemy core kills him. Using Blink while using Shadow Walk could remove camouflage as Kalari. Oh, I didn't know that was a bug. Interesting. Where Sevarog's glowing VFX would not play correctly on higher tiers of shoulder pads, where the shield effect would not apply to Steel's shield when using Q and RMS button, where Drongo's shrapnel cannon would not display the impact decal correctly when aiming at the floor. Revenant's Q would not chase targets through walls. Oh. Wait, that's a bug? I thought the Q like got smacked by walls. That's really interesting. Where players would remain knocked up upon respawning if multiple were removed when dying. Where Gadget's basic attack VFX was not playing. Bugs where the minimap and scoreboard were not updating properly when a player had high ping. Rampage would be unable to use abilities while revving from Phoenix while in his ultimate. Where footstep sounds were incorrect in certain areas of the map. Basic attack animations were not correctly blending. Players using a controller could not accept or decline surrender votes. Players using a controller could interact with the play button when the match found pop-up appeared. Where Steel's ultimate sometimes caused him to fall through the world. Where there was an invisible collision on duo lane. Hero footsteps sound on practice map. Player could fall off the map in practice map. Collision at towers that can make minions float. The words to be placed in high areas of the map. Ooh, I've seen some of those. Fixed a bug where Decker's recall audio would repeat. Where both Muriel's bug with Muriel getting hit SFX sound effects. The volume of Revenant's ultimate bell sound effects, alignment issues. The party widget made improvements to how party members disconnecting is handled. Fixed a bug where Countess hair would scale correctly with Sapphire's mantle. That's interesting. Now I wish I knew what that looked like. Fixed a bug of Revenant's cloth physics caused performance drops. Okay, that's all this week. Let us know what you think of the changes on Twitter and other social media servers. So very, very cool. A lot of this stuff sounds good. I don't know, man. I don't know about these mutilator changes. It's a lateral change, so sure, it's fine. They want to pull away from Omnivamp. I get that goal. I'm ready to see Sky Splitter changes. I really want to see some Sky Splitter changes, but the rest of the balance changes seem fair. I'm not sure how I feel about the Rampage change, but it's because I play him a lot. He doesn't feel super oppressive, but he is the best jungler, and there's a reason why I consistently put him at S tier. So this may pull him down to A tier in turn, like, you know, in line with some of the other junglers, or he may just stay at the top because he's a great tank. Either which way, Narmatch nerfs look good, Muriel buffs look good. Some of these other changes seem interesting, and I'm really, really excited for the changes to Fangtooth. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Drop a like on the video, subscribe for future Predecessor content. As always, be sure to kind of one other, tell someone you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.